45, take 1.
Slate 9, take 1.
Select 36, take 1.
New characters,
New character,
new location.
New location.
Two big characters, actually.
4 was a fun one because it was just a totally new space, totally new set of characters, or people we saw briefly in the last series, but now we're developing them a lot more. And obviously it's starting to explore the other side of our plot, which again, we didn't really get into last time, which is this kind of villainous government subplot plus what the hell was in that cage, which we still haven't fully explained, but, stick with us because we do. I thought the location was amazing. So we're in an actual real working mortuary. So, the fridge doors that you can see behind, our 2 actors for the majority of that, there are people dead in there. And I remember when we turned up for location recce, one of the things they said was, obviously, if there's like a murder the night before, then you can't film. And it's like, that's fair enough. We're not going to kick off like that.
Yeah, we're allowed them.
Yeah, it was a great find, actually, that location, because obviously we wrote the script with this interrogation happening of our alien, potentially. And obviously, last time we saw these characters, we were in a big empty warehouse. So it's like, okay, how do we stage that? Do we have to build something that this thing's being housed in? And it's like a big quarantine chamber with like a glass window, which I think is how it was written. And then it's like, I don't know how we're going to do that. We'll worry about it later. Yeah. And actually, the mortuary, when we found it, was perfect. We just kind of asked the Bristol Film Office, we need a kind of lab location, because the implication, hopefully, is that we're just upstairs now in the warehouse or something. But the mortuary is brilliant because we didn't have to do any set design. It was like, okay, well, instead of behind a glass screen, this thing is now on a mortuary slab. And instantly you're in somewhere that's really interesting without having to do any work. And
great production value.
Yeah, we'd have to like pay for props and set design and all that kind of stuff. And it just immediately kind of makes the scene come alive. Because it was another one, a little like 3, where there's a lot of talking to be done, but hopefully a lot of interesting information to come out of that.
In season 1, we were kind of almost like passing characters, just setting up different scenes for other characters. Whereas this season we were given a lot more of a backstory, that I got a daughter, for instance, and that you've got family.
Yeah.
So good to know that, and then obviously we were able to expand on that in our scenes, especially the mortuary scene where we have a bit of a dialogue about.
There's almost an argument because we don't see eye to eye. We both have individual things that we want to do or we need to do, and what I like about those backstories even more is the fact that now if you go back and rewatch the first season, you know why we're doing what we're doing. It's not just a case of all these guys look a bit shifty. There's now a reason for that.
And we were working with Graham Fox as well, so Graham's character came in. That was really great work with Graham.
He was awesome.
Nice chap. And that gave more of an indication about how we were in the level of the hierarchy, which is, again,
well, you find out.
Can't say too much.
Yeah, you find out.
We introduced Gilroy, played by Graham Fox.
Yeah, so Graham, he's brilliant. I worked with him on a film called Judas Ghost, where he played a villainous ghost of the title, and he was amazing in that. So I knew he was one of the people we wanted to get in, and this is kind of the perfect opportunity to get him in. And he's very menacing.
Are you sure?
And also we wanted to give Tim Henley more of a catch. So we loved Tim. We'd worked with Tim loads, and he didn't really get to do much last season. Obviously, he's great at being a villain, but it was a lot of just shouting and shoot them and all that, And now it was a real chance to, again, go somewhere a bit different with him, because we thought we don't want him to just be a generic villain. So now, I mean, again, you'll see how this develops, but he's almost our protagonist in this episode, because now he's being threatened by someone worse than he is, and you find out, oh, he's got a child that he's worried about, and there's kind of, we're adding layers to him now, and a name, because in series 1 in the script he's just called The Suit, whereas now he's got a name, Brennan, so we had to figure out, oh yeah, what's he actually called? We can give him a name now. So that was really fun, just to kind of, give him more character as well.
And I thought, they also talk about the backstory for Edward Coleridge, the Dan Winter character, and just saying that he was an archaeologist, the year that he was, around in Bristol, and just kind of set him up, and the fact that he was, kind of came down from the ship, and so it just, one of the things that I think we were quite conscious of to do was just to make sure that little ends are tied up. Something that happened in episode, even season 1 or episode 1 and 2, get kind of like neatly tied up a little bit more in episode 4 or 5 or something, and just to like put the full stop on something that might be there. And I think, and just to make sure that the audience is completely clear about those particular points and it all comes across, so there's nothing left hanging.
Yeah, you just kind of you're sowing the seeds for what's to come, and then also just trying to drip feed those explanations. So it's not just one big episode where you go, here's everything that's going on. You're like, well, let's explain a bit in 4, a bit in 5.
Yeah,
you know.
And then as you watch it as a whole, you then go, I've got this whole story now.
Put it all together,
and I think it's important that the exposition is, like even in a feature film, should be drip fed right up to the finale. You don't want to put everything at the front and then go, right, well, now let's blow up some cars and crash, airplanes. You want to go, well, actually, there's exposition about character and story right up until the last point.
And also, it's finding the balance so that you're never so overloaded with information that actually now I can't enjoy it because I want to know what's going on, but now I'm so confused because we've seen films where the plots maybe a bit overloaded and maybe there's a cool action scene happening, but you're sat there going, what is he trying to do again, or why is that car driving there? And so we're aware that obviously in this series particularly there's a lot to be explained, and again it was just finding that balance of giving you enough that you needed to follow the story but without giving it all away.
And we also worked with the Alien.
Well, you did. I was in another room.
Yeah, so we did a few scenes where we were controlling the alien in a certain way, and that was quite a revelation for us because we'd not seen that.
How was it for you? What did she look like to you?
Just normal person.
So not an alien.
It's all done in post. So, very strange working with an alien that's not an alien.
Whilst Tim was in the other room operating on the alien, the gentleman standing next to me, he was the guy who got involved through the crowdfunding campaign, and he was amazing. It was so cool to have him there as well. He was really interested, got really involved, and it was really really good for him to come down. That was so cool. One
of the great things about working in a mortuary, those little blue shoes sort of covers that we had to wear. So a bit like if you were fitting a carpet in a new house, you have to wear these kind of plastic shoe covers. Rubbish.
Yeah, they were lovely.
Very easy to act with those.